All right, Ultimate Hoops Nation. My name is Reid Nelson. This is Jason Briggs. This is This Week in Rec. So we're going to do a little something here. We're going to talk. Next week is a seeding meeting. Next Wednesday, I believe. Next Thursday, we start playoffs already. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So we want to break down the teams that are out.
Okay.
For sure. For sure out. So let's start down here in Bloomington. Let's talk about the teams that are for sure out.
Okay, for sure out. That is 3 teams. First is the Hitters. They actually have 3 wins on the year. 2 have been forfeited due to illegal players. They had a nice win over Showtime tonight. And sorry, Brandon, but they're going to have a nice win next week against the Bad Boys. Puts them 2-6, but you need that 3rd win to get in, so they're going to be just out. Team number 2 would be the Shockers. I think they finished up tonight at 1-7. Again, they looked really good at the start of the year. I don't even think Grant Torgerson,
yeah,
was their best player, but I think some of the chemistry got lost right after they took those wins away, and then, I mean, you start out 2-0, you take your player away, you run an iron 5, and you meet up against the Gorillas. It's kind of a tough way to do it. But I think they added Tyson and Braun a little bit too late. Otherwise, it would have made a difference. But I mean, they have a loss to the Bad Boys on their schedule, on their dossier for this season. So that's never a good sign. And I know it was a forfeit loss, but it's still a loss, and that's going to leave you out. Last one finished up tonight, giving the Hitters their first legit win. Hopefully we don't find anyone else. And that's Showtime. Questions have come up whether last week's was legit too, but innocent until proven guilty. So I'm sure they were great.
So teams like Lights Out, Big Smash, Crusaders, they're still in?
They're still in. Lights Out.
And the Bad Boys. You didn't even say the Bad Boys.
You cut me off.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said 3 teams.
No, well, it is 3 teams that are officially eliminated.
Officially eliminated. Okay.
The Crusaders got 3 wins, and they've played the Gorillas, the Red Devils tough. I think they beat Showtime. I think they beat the Shockers, and I think they lost to the Hitters and had that given back to them. So they don't have a strong case, and I don't know how they'll fall on the bubble right now, but they're still mathematically alive. Lights Out, I believe, beat the Thumpers tonight, so they're up to 4 wins. So they're pretty much locked in my book. Muskies got off the 2-6 schneid. They got a big win over the Broncos, so now they have Broncos and Big Smash as their wins. They're not going to get a great seed because they lost to the Hitters and had to get that game given back to them. But I think they have enough to sneak in. Bad Boys is now 1-5, has a doubleheader next week. Hitters and Crusaders, I believe.
Big Smash is 2 wins as well.
Yeah, we'll get to you.
Sorry, not me. Don't say that.
We'll get to your team, your favorite team. So I don't. Bad Boys has got 1 win, and it was on a forfeit, and they got shellacked by like 30 points. They came close against Showtime last week. Really were outmatched tonight. The fact that the Hitters have a coach, even though he does sometimes more harm than good, I think is kind of going to help them out and make sure the Bad Boys lose that game. The Hitters are too talented compared. They don't play well as a team, but they have the talent to overtake Bad Boys, who both aren't talented and don't play good as a team. And then I think the Crusaders will probably get their 4th win because they should be able to bully the Bad Boys too and get that W. So I think they're out. And finally, for Bloomington is your Big Smash. Reid, your Big Smash. Far from an impressive resume.
Far from one.
You are 2-5 with wins over the Hitters week 1 with Omar though. So that's a feather in your cap.
I guess.
And then a massacre of Bad Girls 3 girls. Sorry, Aunt. I'll make sure I get it right. Of Bad Girls 3, I would like to say that Brandon came by about 15 minutes into the first half and said that the refs were pretty one-sided. And we looked up at the score, and you guys were up like 32 points. So they would have had to have been really, really one-sided for you guys to, be up that much.
So you think Big Smash beats Lights Out, they're in. They lose, they're obviously out.
They lose, they're obviously out. They win. The fact that Lights Out won tonight, I think, really would strengthen your case. You're also a team that, despite the dysfunction that goes on that court, and it is hilarious to watch, unless you're doing stats, because then you have to pay attention. Like, it's good. Like, it's like one of those horror movies where you don't want to look, but you kind of peeking through the eye. That's how I would describe watching your team. But despite all that, you guys actually have some talent.
Well, Fair was leading the league in PPR.
Yeah, it's a totally legit stat.
Oh, come on now.
You'll edit that out. You need the negatrometer like Common does.
I actually have. I actually was given, for the first time ever, the formula for the PPR. I can't open it on my computer, but I have it.
It's 2 parts stats, 3 parts simmer, I think. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, you guys you'd be a scary team for if you got in at, let's say you got into the 20 seed and you played the 13 and you won and you got matched up against the 5. That's a game you can win. You guys are scary. No G, but scary.
So Showtime out.
Showtime out.
Big
Hit is out.
Hitters, big
Shockers out.
Shockers out, and Bad Boys.
Most likely.
So that's 4.
Let's not put the cart before the horse on that one, but yes, they're out.
So we're down to 25 teams. We haven't gone up to Fridley yet, but so 29, 28, 27, 26. So we're down to 25. Now let's go up to Fridley. Now max that can make it in is 24. Max, but we could also see 20. So who in Fridley is for sure out? Barracudas?
For sure out. The poor Cudas at 0-7. And I don't think it gets any easier. I can't think of who they play, but I don't think it gets any easier. They play Toon Squad. So yeah, it does get easier. Sorry. So that should at least be a competitive game, hopefully. But yeah, they're gone. The Knights had a. I was going to go Christian Bale on you there for interrupting my take, but
sorry.
Oh, good.
The Knights.
The Knights. Yeah, thank you. The Knights are 1-6. They had a really close game against UOENO and blew it, and a really close game against the Toon Squad and couldn't finish. They actually were on top of UOENO and turned the ball over a few times and lost that game. Otherwise, they could be on that bubble looking to get in, but unfortunately, they're at 1-6, and they play Killer Bees next week, or today, whenever we're in this. Today. And that's not going to go well. And they're not, even if they win, which would be impressive, they're still not going to have enough. And finally, maybe the best team to not make the playoffs in UH rec history.
5-5?
Not 5-5. They've got 3 wins, so they're eligible. Well, at least since this format is done, I'm talking about, because the Bobcats missed it several seasons back, and they were really good. The Huskies are 1-6. 1 win over Fob 5, 6 losses to everyone else.
They've had a tough schedule, though, too.
They've had a tough, yeah. Well, they can't get to 3 wins. Okay, so that's the first problem. They have had a tough schedule. Devin getting hurt twice. I think he hurt the hand at the start of the year, and then he didn't show up last week in a must-win game against Callahan. Romero traded in his lifetime membership for, I don't know, handful of magic beans. I don't know what he did. He's gone. They got Lamont, and they completely got slaughtered in the Karma game against the club after taking a player. And they showed up 4 guys against the Toon Squad. And even though it was really close and Helmy had a chance to win it, they still lost that game. If they somehow miraculously win that game, or if Ryan shows up, or Rowe, or Lamont, or someone else is at that game, we're talking about the Huskies being a dangerous low seed. Now we're talking about the Huskies at 1-6, and even beating UOENO tomorrow gives them at 2-6. And
they'd have to finish in the top 20 because they can't get into 21, 22, 23, 24 with 2 wins. So.
Right.
Which I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. At least maybe you'll have 1 crazy person, you won't have 2. So yeah, that cuts 25, 24, 23. So we're down to 22 teams. We could make it even easier if the Cudas beat Toon Squad. We'll eliminate them, and we're down to 21. But unfortunately, I think the Toon Squad's going to win. I think they're the team that's on the biggest bubble right now because they have a win over the Knights, win over the Cudas if they win tomorrow, and a 5-on-4 over the Huskies. So that's a combined. Let's give the Huskies benefit of the doubt. Say they win tomorrow, their wins would be against a combined 3-21. Teams that are combined 3-21. That's not very impressive.
Well, thank you, sir. We'll obviously be tuning in next week, or everyone will hopefully be tuning in next week as we do the seating committee meeting. I
got an article that'll be posted on Thursday of this week, so today will be posted, kind of breaking down some more who's definitely in, who I think is going to end up being on the wrong side of it. But
thank you, sir.